If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the. If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the daily.
Welcome back to the Slightly Daily Podcast, to the next virtual podcast via Zoom with someone from out of state. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Even though it's virtual, it's still a podcast. It's still a thing.
Podcast.
So I have with me today, across the country, a few 100 miles north of me. I'm in Tennessee. This man is in New York, to the best of my knowledge. So I found, just to give you guys kind of a preface of who this man is, how I came to know him in this sort of way off the internet, is I found the Average Male Podcast through the hashtags on Instagram. And I was like, this is really dope. And I found it. And then, first thing I did before I even followed him was I went to the YouTube channel, checked the episode out. I was like, okay, I was like, this is kind of tight. And then I followed you guys and then shot a message. I was like, yo, this is dope. And then here we are.
Here we are. Love since the beginning.
Absolutely. I really do love, like, you guys. So like ever since, so I've been like a podcast consumer for like a couple years now, maybe like 2 years. But like, you have like a little
Same
mini,
as well.
like you got like a rotation kind of, you got the Joe Rogan in there. I like the Mike Tyson joint, you know what I'm saying? And then like you guys legitimately are in like my rotation. Like I'll be like, that new episode of the Average Male Podcast is out. For real. Like I watch it on my TV every episode.
No, for real. I mean, we wanted to set it up like we originally started. Like we really wanted to make sure that we could at least, have something that not just wouldn't be just for a podcaster, but for a podcaster and for a regular person. So it's just like in a show format where a podcaster could look at it and be like, oh man, this is a show for me. And then at the same time, a regular person would be like, oh man, these are shows that I've seen. And then, they're podcasting around it. So we just wanted to make it, average and comfortable.
Also, let me add this too, guys. The skits that you guys do, it's just like a whole nother thing. It's so unique. So guys, just so you know, it's three of you guys and three of them, which I'll link all the socials. But so they do like these little funny kind of, I don't know, Key and Peele SNL type skits, Dave Chappelle.
Bad TV in living color.
Exactly. So that's just a cool little interesting tidbit, man. So Outlaw, man, tell me about your upbringing, I guess. Tell me about a little bit about New York or whatever you want to say, man. Go ahead. Let's get the ball rolling.
Oh man, New York is rough. I'm originally from Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is probably one of the most roughest place. But then I ended up moving to the Bronx, which is even the roughest place. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, it allowed me to really understand, because originally I was from New Jersey, where my father was at. Due to the separation of them, I ended up, mainly living in New York. And, it comes with the both positive and negatives. Like I'll say anybody, because, if you're living in a town, you love how it looks, but man, it's quiet as shit. And then in New York, you hate how it looks, but the noise is kind of cool sometimes when you want to go outside and catch a party. But ultimately it cultivated me to just really be a visual person. Because a lot of the stuff that happens in New York is very excruciating in a sense, where like it's like you see it. So like as a videographer, photographer, and I would even consider myself cinematographer, because those are those photographic things that I see that I just like know that if no one creates how this is seen, we'll never see it. You know what I'm saying?
So explain to me what the difference in a cinematographer would be. Like, how would you define that?
I would say a cinematographer is more of a person that really thinks about shots more than thinks about filming, right? So like a person that's a cinematographer, I'm always thinking about the photography of the videography more than he's thinking about the filmography of the videography. He's like thinking about
composing the angle type deal, like
how the colors are going to look, who's going to wear a green shirt, who's going to wear a black shirt, the copper set with the yellow. So like you really got to know color wise
Yeah.
and all of these things, how to really make sure you're selling a solid shot.
Right. So how long have you been doing the video stuff? What did you start out taking pictures, or did you just get right into videography, like videoing things?
I was a skateboarder. When I
Okay.
was I would say 17. My boys had stole a car, and when they stole the car, there was a skateboard in the back, and I didn't even go with them to steal, but they was just like, they stole the car, so they were just like emptying everything out, and they was like, "Yo, you want anything?" And I was like, "Yo, I want that skateboard," and it was brand new. And I'm in front of like Dunkin' Donuts, can't even ride it. 2 months later, I had a skateboard gang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm doing manuals down the street. And then so one of the things about skateboarding is I realized, oh, we can't be doing these tricks without film. We got to make
Yeah.
demos. We got to get sponsors. So I
Right.
picked up the camera just because I'm like, yo, we got to film our tricks. We got to get a sponsor video. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what originally that started maybe 13 years ago. I'm 30 now. So,
Dude, so hold on before I forget. So I didn't know you were into skating, but I have a friend. I can't remember what episode it was. My friend Dakota Martin. I need to send you that link. He has his own skateboarding brand. I wore one of his shirts, the Limitless
oh,
shirt.
that's dope.
He has his own skateboarding brand, and like it's right down your alley. If you're really into that skate stuff, you will love it.
I'm a skate fanatic.
Cause look, me, I'm, I know Tony Hawk, I'm not like, I think it's cool, but like, I was never like, I was like I played baseball and like sports and stuff growing up,
Yeah, me too. But baseball was just,
yeah.
skateboarding is just something like,
yeah,
it's different.
but, so yeah, we went down this huge rabbit hole in that episode. That one's a really dope one, but we talked about like how, he was basically talking about how skateboard culture is so weird because like they want that grainy ass footage. It's like it's just a part of like the skate culture,
No,
like
a lot of my filming comes from that contrast,
yeah. So that's how you started filming.
Yeah.
Was
Yes.
skate. Okay.
Skating,
skate videos. So
skate
and
videos.
then so you said this was how long ago, or how old were you?
This is about 13 years ago. I was 17. So yeah, this is 13 years ago. Yeah. I'm 30 now. So yeah, 13 years ago.
17. So at the end of your high school type
Yeah,
shit.
at the end of my high school, I was skateboarding for sure. I see. Actually, that was my last year. Probably going into my last year of college, my last year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was skateboarding to school, and my school was like 2 miles away.
Man, that's tough. That's not like a longboard, or that's not like a longboard or a penny board.
No, this is like if you see a rock down the street, you better move now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm heavy, so I had to skate like I had to really, really skate. I had to kick push more than I could. Kick push more than I could glide. You know what I'm saying?
So
I need that power.
So you said you had like a gang of people, like you had like, where was that like a kind of like a popular thing that was happening, at least like at your school or like in your friend group?
I was in the Bronx, so
okay.
Not only that, but then at the same time that I was tripping, I was also in because we're in New York. I was in a gang, the Blue People, right? And so
okay,
I was skateboarding, and I was in the Blue People, and I was in one of the most toughest neighborhoods in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was dope for me because it really showed me a certain type of energy that you need to have when being yourself, right? Because at this time, not only that, but then probably before I was with the Blue People, I was gothic. You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to like heavy metal, death metal.
Okay.
Just like I didn't even get into hip hop until Lupe Fiasco. So
wow. Because of Kick Push, or
no. I mean,
kind of unrelated.
I was born on jazz, like coming from Jersey and then being in Brooklyn. It was a very jazzy feeling. So I was born on like Sade and like David Benoit, Branford Marsalis, Miles Davis, all these people.
Nice.
So those instruments is what, because just like if anybody knows rock music and they started off listening to emo or whatever, with jazz, the instruments is it was going to lead you up to rock because of the instrumentation.
Yeah, like the progression, like exactly. the like how it's like written and stuff too. So yeah, I can definitely see. It's crazy too, because like, and then this is a thing too that new age people were also starting to realize is like all music at one point came from some sort of black culture, and it was like formed into some like even rock. There's probably like country music and like electronic music is probably the only two genres where it was probably most likely originated by white people, but
But
everything else,
even country music is a subgenre from blues.
it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So just a little bit about me. So I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is like 30 minutes from Nashville. So when it comes to the music thing, I mean, I live in Music City. You know what I'm saying? So Nashville is like the capital of the world for country.
Yeah.
And then Memphis is like the capital of the world for blues. So Tennessee, believe it or not, is like a very big like music state. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everyone here does music, and there's like, especially more in today's time, there's a lot of like bands and stuff that come from like this little like, middle portion of Tennessee that I come from. So I definitely feel what you're saying, how you kind of started on like the jazz deal and and then kind of transitioned and shifted, like through genres, because it's really like that here too. Like it really is. Like I know a lot of, I mean, you know how everybody's rapping nowadays.
Yes.
Everyone knows a rapper, which I'm not saying like that's whack or anything. Like, I've made rap music, I've made all kinds of music, but like, it's just interesting, especially the music thing, man. That's something that anybody can relate to. It's like,
No, I mean, without music, we would probably be dead, honestly.
yeah, man.
And because it's like the algorithm is something that you need. Like they even say like thunderstorms, like people that are scared of thunderstorms, you need that sound frequency to balance your senses in order for you to kind of feel what's going on around you. So music is it's literally a journey. It's a journey for you. Like if you're not listening to music, you probably haven't found yourself yet.
That's someone on one of my prior episodes. He's a rapper and stuff, and he brought up this one thing. He made this one statement that I still think about to this day. And we were just talking about how powerful music is and stuff, and like he was just like, well, like we're made up of 70% water.
Yeah.
So like whenever you put the headphones on, think about the vibrations moving through the water. You know what I'm saying?
Your body literally needs it.
Yeah. And like if you played like a sound or something underwater, it would like make ripples and waves and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like when you put the headphones on, or like you're in your car playing the speakers, like it's literally like like making wavelengths through your body, and like
and your body is getting instant gratification.
Yeah, sure. Man, it's crazy. So all right, man, take me next step of your journey as far as so we're at like 17, 18 years old, skating videos.
Boom, skating. I'm doing skateboard videos. Then I transitioned.
Were these like posted on like
yes,
the internet type stuff?
Yes,
like,
yes. I was on MySpace at the time. So yeah, I was posting videos on MySpace. We was posting on YouTube. Nice. I was on YouTube very, very early because there was an episode on Oprah where there was like a whole bunch of girls and dudes, and they was talking about how they was making money off of YouTube. This is like back in like 2000.
That early? That's crazy.
2000 and before 2006. It was like a really big video. This is like the first viral video. It was a white girl, and she was on her bed, and she had like a whole bunch of laptops. You don't remember that video? She had a whole bunch of laptops on her bed, and it was all MacBooks. And she had got mad at her parents because they didn't want to buy her a new MacBook. And
dude. I kind of do remember that.
Yeah, that girl was on Oprah.
So I was born in 96. I'm 24. So like I'm on like the cusp. Like I'm like right there, but I'm also kind of like
you're right there.
I'm at the very like end. I'm in this weird like cusp year. You know what I'm saying? I'm like right here with the millennials, but I'm like right here with the Gen Z, because like I know what I remember.
No, if you caught wrestling, you're with us. If you caught wrestling, you're with us.
I did.
You're with us.
yeah. Well, see, I come from down here too, bro. My family's like country and stuff, so that was a thing. Like
No, I'm from down south, so yeah. Now I'm from down south. My family's from down south.
That was a thing, bro. And like we were on NASCAR a little bit too, but like
NASCAR is big in the south, huge.
Dude, let me tell you, I went to Talladega, which is in Alabama.
Yeah,
boy.
No, it's crazy.
It's
like basketball or football.
First of all, it was a big ass party the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And then second of all, the actual race was like, I mean, it was loud as shit. Like you can't even imagine. Like I'll never go, again, but I went the one time and I was like, okay, I did it.
No,
Like,
it's
I
an
was there.
experience for people that don't want that experience.
Yeah. It was crazy. But so where'd you go after skating? So you said you got into hip hop, like making hip hop,
I was
or
I
like
was a
recording?
rapper.
Nice.
So that's why I dropped the camera. Now I'm rapping. So
Okay.
I'm rapping. I end up with a rap crew. We call ourselves Bars, right? I forgot. I think it's like, I don't even know what it stands for. But we would call Bars. We, even at that time, I was always a visual person. Being that I have photographic memory,
Mm,
just visuals, movies, all of that stuff is just very like in nature with me.
yeah.
So we got into, doing the music once again.
Mm,
Who's going to record our music videos? At this time, it's 2008, 2009. So there's like no videographers.
yeah.
There's no such thing as a person that has a video camera, The only people at this time, and they were like known, this is like Smack DVD and
Okay.
Glory D. These are
Yeah.
like battle rap and DSLR people.
Yeah.
The person that broke that gap for us was Dame Dash, you know what I'm saying, when he
Yeah.
started Creative Control. So
Man, he's such a legend, bro.
no, he's a legend. He's a legend.
People don't realize that this man he had it all.
No, he reinvented hip hop
He did.
in an entrepreneurial standpoint.
Yeah.
From the streets of the corporate office back to the independent artist.
Him and Master P.
Yes, 100%.
Like, I mean, Master P, he was pro like artist, He was like, we're not about to get fucked over. Like, you're not about to fuck us over. Like,
when you see that much, it's like
mm-hmm.
when if you're that open-minded, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you get into that realm, you're like, nah, people are going through so much. If I can drop one song, get $1 million, right? And then make a contract, make $10 million, retire, start a record label, and
Before
then create
30?
a fucking a village so all of my family can just literally stop working and live for their freedom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And like, I think being, it's just kind of crazy because you think of like these entrepreneurs and stuff, like you don't have to just, I feel like a lot of these common denominators are people who get into the music industry, like Diddy or like those type of people. It's kind of crazy how it's like that. That common denominator is always somehow like music, the music industry. It's always like a little tiny like stopping point in like these kind of big entrepreneurs like journeys, like Dame or like Master P. I mean, Master P did all types. I mean, he was a baller too, which I mean, that was another little stop, But so were you guys? So you guys were, how many guys were in your little rap group?
It was
Like
3, including myself.
Nice.
Right. I was the worst rapper, the worst. I sucked. I mean, I literally still, the videos are still online. I was trash. This is when we first started using T-Pain, right? So I'm like, and I'm rapping like, I mean, what do you call it? At like megahertz. So the slowest megahertz. I'm like, the girl is my world. Unfurl. So it was one day that I say this is like 2009. And I was just with my friends and I was like, oh, I get it. I know how to rap now. Like, I don't know. It just clicked to me, like, just what you need to do. And then I cultivated a fan base online and, a real big fan base to the point where I would consider myself one of those people that was supposed to make it around the Big Sean time, right? This is like Big Sean. This was like Chris Brown, like My Cup. Who else was around that time? It was 2 other artists. That was around that time that was supposed to make it from that cusp. But like I said, I had to put up a video camera, so I wasn't able to really focus on my verbiage. And I actually had a song stolen from me, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, no, I don't want to be those dudes on World Star that'd be like, oh, somebody stole my song.
Who stole it? Who stole a song?
It was actually Big Sean.
What?
Yeah.
How?
It was a song. It's a really, really huge song. I don't want to say anything about it because I don't want like that controversy. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
It was because nobody can really call it. I don't want to say that.
How could he have like found it?
Because we were on the same mixtape before when he was in the Chitlin circuit and I was in the Chitlin circuit before he even met Chris Brown or Kanye West. he was on the same mixtapes that I was on.
So
So
wait,
there was like DJ mixtapes on like Dat Piff and stuff like that.
okay,
That if you had a good management team or you knew how to fuck with the internet, you
I
could
see.
get yourselves on those mixtapes.
Ah,
And those were those mixtapes that were really listened to by people because at the time, not many people had sponsor links that you can do free downloads. So a lot of the DJs were the only ones that were actually affording that $39.99 a month, or that subscription so they can have sponsors. So it was easier for your music to be heard because you could actually download the music on that pit. And there was all slow songs on there that, weren't making it, but then there was the up and comers that was supposed to be on those mixtapes. And I had a song that I did a snippet to, and then I kid you not, a year later, it's him and another person, and I'm like, what the hell? Hold on, how did he get
wild.
this? And it was the same flow, everything, and I was just like, wow. And I'm gonna show it to you after this. And you're gonna be like, this is crazy.
That's wild, bro.
So I became a videographer, and going into videography, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get these people on because I already know I could rap. So let me just help them get what they do, and then hopefully we can afford something so I can have a videographer that I trust, that I can, do my video so we can do it right. Never got a chance to because, creating a business with anybody is hard. You know what I'm saying?
Even with your friends, bro.
No,
even
100%.
with your friends. It takes a certain type of just commitment, I guess, is the best word.
Commitment. End result.
I guess the end result. It takes, because you never know what kind of level, because me, I think horoscope, or I think your horoscope shit is
it's somewhat really real.
Somewhat, I'm an Aries and I'm let's go get this thing. Let's go do it. I'll do it.
Aries are very they're very creative and they're very passionate about their craft. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, fuck it. Well, if no one's gonna do it with me, I'm gonna just do it alone. That type of shit.
You'll never stop, literally.
Which could be out of fault sometimes, but I'm doing my thing. At the end of the day, anybody should do that. Just do your thing,
Right,
but
sure.
Yeah, dude. So how did you meet the Average Male guys?
So from that, right, because this is a big story. This is how I meet the Average Male, right?
Okay, keep going.
So we do that. I end up messing with, once again, I get my opportunity in the industry. This is around the time we get Davies, Young and May, Trey Pizzy, Manolo Rose.
You being in New York too, that's literally where hip hop was created.
Yeah, designer, right? So I'm in this realm, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the videographer for one of the big artists that is supposed to make it alongside Davies, right? But then there's a bidding war, right, on that XXX 2015 cover, right? Because this is what crosses over into the Average Male, and why I say, you know what? Let me take over more things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, they make it. It's 5 people from New York, right? That's supposed to make this cover. They all have big hits. And then the artist that I'm working with, created the groundwork for all of these kind of New York people to have that spotlight, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're both the same, Davies and Trey Pizzy. They literally had a diss record when it was huge for a second. And Davies, Trey Pizzy, they have this diss record. And it kind of really dismantles that whole New York vibe, right? You got even down to A Boogie with the Hoodie, right? So you have this whole divide where now it's just kind of New York was almost together, right? It was just this kind of Brooklyn, Harlem, Bronx thing that was happening in New York. And then the cover happens and then everybody becomes a star, but my artist, right?
Who actually made that cover? Who was on that one? Designer?
It was Designer, Davies, and I believe Young and May. And it was supposed to be a lot of more New York people.
Yeah.
But it could, because it's 10 people, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And so, they want to show the whole country.
Exactly.
They want to show some West Coast, some South,
100%.
A wild card in there, someone from Minnesota, I'm sure,
Exactly.
So did you ever actually have personal connections with Young and May or Designer? Did you ever have run-ins with any
Designer and Young and May are on the top tier of what we were creating. These things collab, right? So when I'm doing and what because Young and May is a girl just in wherever she's at, just freestyling and one hits. And Designer's a dude that's kind of
high energy
in a weird situation with a label, kind of manager situation where a record kind of gets, a lot of records got stolen this year. A lot of Manolo Rose records get stolen by Troy Ave, right? All About the Money. And then, Designer kind of steals that song from Fresher, right? Panda.
Really?
Yeah, this is not a record that's supposed to be Designers. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Yes.
That's crazy. And that song is like Diamond or whatever. Crazy.
It's crazy.
Went
and
number
like,
one.
number one. And
like
the people just wasn't people. It was a really crazy time in New York for 2015.
for that community.
For that community.
People for that community, people knew all the drama. But like as far as
the world, no. That's a drama that I would love. That's what I'm saying. Like why you have to push forward content because nobody's gonna talk about these stories. You know what I'm saying?
Right, dude. You should do a YouTube series like not like snitching or like gossiping, but like people really want to hear that story, like telling the story. Like seriously, because like people would be interested.
We're telling the story.
Well, exactly. People would be interested in that, and this is like, I mean, it's a part of history. This is like we don't have like, so like where I'm from, Tennessee, we have 3-6 Mafia.
Yes.
G Unit. We had Young Buck come from Nashville. But
do you
like,
consider Big Crit y'all or not?
He's like, I mean, he's from the South, but he's not from Tennessee. He's from Mississippi.
I see what you mean.
So I mean,
I didn't know because a New York artist is a New York artist for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would consider like not like, of course, like somebody from your city. That's even huge. But now, like, do y'all from the South? Do y'all consider the South y'all, or do y'all just consider y'all borough, y'all state, y'all country, y'all county?
Kind of like, see, that's the thing. That's what I was getting at is specifically here, my city, which is not like a huge city, but it's like, it's a moderately large city. But like from my city, Murfreesboro, we've got like professional athletes, but not like professional like recording artists, and I mean, Nashville is home to the biggest country music people of all time, but like it's just different down here. And then there's like a couple bands like Kings of Leon, like Cage the Elephant, like who had really big.
Leon.
Yeah, they're from around here.
Oh, that's dope.
So, but what I was saying though about Tennessee, like the rap thing. So I named off 2 rappers who 15, 20 years ago they were hot shit. There's not a whole lot coming from the state just constantly at a constant rate, but when you ask will we like claim like a South rapper, I mean kind of, but like dude, Atlanta is so much different than here.
Yeah.
It's so much different. And like the Lil Wayne Louisiana stuff, like that's just, it's so much different down there. Like the South, each state is like, and I haven't been to every state, I've been to like Florida, I've been to Atlanta before, not to just like kick it, but like it's just so different down here. There's like different kind of, which I'm sure it's like that. I mean, like how you're saying in one city, New York has all these boroughs and it's just like all jam packed together.
Yeah.
In the South, it's like more spread out. So we've never really had a whole lot of like crazy commercial success from here. I mean, have you heard of Starlito?
Yeah, of course.
So he's from Nashville.
Oh,
he's
for
like,
real?
Yeah, he's like our GOAT, but like, he's like the GOAT from here type shit. But yeah, man. So you were involved in this group in this like community.
This little community.
This little 2015 community. So this is whenever you were really starting to like
cultivate things. Yeah.
Cultivate. Okay.
Yeah. So then at this point, I'm like, all right, I seen how that worked, right? So how it happened, it was like Wiz Khalifa, I would say was a big contribution to that, right? So Wiz Khalifa started his own independent shows. I'm watching Wiz Khalifa and Currency. I'm rapping at the time, but I'm more videographer than rapping.
Yeah.
So I'm telling Trey, I'm like, yo, y'all should do your own shows, right? Y'all do your own shows. You have a resume, right? Where you can take to another person that shows that you can pull in a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
I believe if you creative control, like Dame Dash, right? And you control the narrative, you own the bar, you own the entry, you own the stage, you create the playlist, right? So now you can kind of create a playlist for New York, right? So boom, Trey Pizzy does Drugged and Unplugged, and he does an independent show. He brings in maybe at least maybe 200-300 people, right?
That's a lot.
Free at the door. We selling 40-ounce beers, right? At the
Party.
bar. You know, it's a party. This is what hip hop is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So at this time, we had a lot of independent access, you know. So from there, he does Drugged and Unplugged too. Now people knows, yo, this dude, like, oh, who did that show? Oh, we did it. Oh, okay. So now you got places like, you know, Santos House Party, places like, you know, Webster Hall and things of that nature. And that now we can say, yo, we can pull in this amount of people, so we can immediately get money from that. So let's invest in our show. So we go when it's time for us to do another show, they have to pay us because we can immediately show them that we can sell out their whole entire situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Help each other make profit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they do that. Davies, Manolo Rose, they get on the bills. We're now creating a playlist for that to immediately link up later on when MA and you know, Young MA and Designers bubbling, which creates this whole help one. Then you got, you know, South by Southwest. They all go down there. That's the time where everybody comes back to New York, and that's when XSL is like, all right, who killed South by Southwest?
Right.
So, so that whatever, like I said, that debacle, you already know who made it. I'm sitting there like, so there's a little turmoil now because, you know, now it's just like, you know, we got to work harder. They're kind of like stars and things of that nature. People start treating people like shit, things of that nature. Nobody knows who they really are anymore. You start doing a lot of smoke and mirror shit, right? I get out of there. I say, you know what? I'm going to do this on my own. I'm not an opportunist. I can do this on myself. So that's when I get Who Is Bachi, right?
Okay.
It's me and Who Is Bachi is 2000. I meet him in 2014. We eventually link up and we do a video in 2015 for his music video called Food. And that did really, really well. Like, that's like his town song now. Like, he lives in Peekskill, so that's a town. And like, if you play that song out of a car, everybody in Peekskill is gonna know, right?
How far is that from where you
From
stay?
me, it's like maybe about an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
Right?
But still New York
driving. If I was taking the path straight, it'd be like damn near 2 hours, right? But if I'm driving, it's an hour and 15. Right. So walking 8 hours, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty far, right? It's New York, but it's pretty far, right? It's like the state of New York. We're in the city.
New York state. Okay, exactly. I got you.
So
it's a big state. People don't realize. I feel like people don't realize that when you look at it on the map. New York is like a big ass state. It's huge.
It's really huge. Texas is huge, though.
Texas is huge.
Texas is different huge. Like, you know what I'm saying? Texas, you can fit everybody in Texas, and we can all have 1.8 acres of land. Like,
exactly. So yeah, meet Bachi.
Yeah, first. So we meet Bachi, right? And then I do the same thing. I say, I'm going to create a playlist, right? So so how I create the playlist is I shoot the videos for everybody that I'm creating the playlist for. So then it can all frequency tied to me so I can interact with their fans. That's my artist development.
Yeah.
I shoot the video, it links to me, whatever artists I do, they're going to see me with other videos. But not only that, how do I cultivate the videos? I do my own shows. I have the creative control to open bar, free entry. If you're broke, you're rich, you got your granny, you got your grandmother, you want to come listen to hip hop and some street dudes that are pretty good that I think, come down, right?
It's really, what you did though is awesome because one, it helps the artist because it puts a face to the name, and it also helps you too.
Now in high school I did advertising and design, desktop publishing. So I create the flyers, right? I got flyers and music on them. So I create all of these shows for a month. I create the shows last Saturday of the month, right? Create a theme. Tuesday at 2 p.m. You always got to create a theme. So regardless, there's some type of promotion, whether if it's somebody is an individual or a private independent, as long as you have a slogan, somebody's going to remember it. So last Saturday of the month, right? Open bar for the first 2 hours, for smoke friendly, you can smoke weed and it's a capacity of 500, right? We got a stage, all of that, PA system is lit. We got people in there that's 45, 50 years old, smoking weed, listening to little fucking 22-year-olds make hip hop and mosh pit and jump on top of each other.
Screaming and shit, yeah.
So I partnered up first, right? Not partnered up, but I partnered up. My first 2 shows. Those didn't go well because It's like I did a show with them, and then they was like 60 people. I'm like, yo, I can pack this, right? Like, so boom, I pack it with Bachi, right? And his people and my people and all of that. And then now he's like, I bet, yo, I think, so I'm like, yo, we need a bigger venue. I can pack more people.
How many
right?
artists did you guys have for this? Was this
I started off with 3.
Okay.
And then by the time I went to my second location, I did a roster of 10.
That's deep, man.
Word. So I do that. And then we sell out 500 people, right? It's packed. I got Trey Pizzy in there. I got his brother in there. I'm paying him to perform. I got Kayla, right, which is on the Peology podcast. She's bartending, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I'm kind of trying to recultivate. I'm trying to not recreate, but continue what we had, right?
Right.
So whatever, you know, they take the PA system from me, the people that I do the show with, right? They didn't bring the PA system. So I had to fucking go all around to look for a microphone. It was crazy. So whatever.
Oh, shit.
I do my third show, same thing, same place. We get like maybe 300 people, or in case maybe same thing. Fourth show, same thing. We moved up to peak scale. We sold out, right? So I'm looking at FaZe and I'm looking at all of these people. I'm like, listen, no matter what happened, look what we just did, right? Power 105, Hot 97, they're doing shows where like 20 people are showing up. You know what I'm saying? And they're selling tickets, right?
Yeah.
Like $20 tickets, $15 tickets, right? And they're making an artist pay, right? Now I'm like, you could come here, have a videographer, show you rapping, have people come here, PRs, I had people from Blame It on Ebro come down there to report. Just all of these things that you can have independently in front of you. Nobody's seen it. So close. And I'm just like, sometimes you got to just know how to charge us to the game.
Yeah.
So me and Bachi, now it's fast forward, it's 2020. It's 2020 now, right?
It is. Barely.
And I'm just like, yo, he's like, yo, we got to start potting. And I start talking about potting with Kayla 2 years prior before I started talking with Bachi. So we had Peology. The Average Male podcast was originally supposed to be with Kayla, right?
Okay.
Was supposed to be for Peology. And me and Bachi we didn't do it because she did a podcast that failed. The reason why I didn't do that podcast is because it was new. It was like 2017. Nobody knew how to podcast.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a perfectionist. I'm like, if I don't know how to do it, I'm not going to do it. It's not going to make sense. I've done all of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just go and just be like, we're going to sit here and fuck up. No.
I feel that.
So I'm like, you know what? Let's scrape it. She got mad at me. She did it. Her shit failed. Whatever. I do Bachi. Bachi's already an audio engineer, right? I'm an audio engineer. So it's like, it's immediately, he already has certain systems. I already had certain systems. Mm-hmm. So we already knew that, okay, we can do this. We got mics. You know, we already have
mics.
Dude,
yeah. Literally same. Literally, bro, because I was doing music like for about 4 years, you know? So I already had the knowledge on the technology and the equipment and stuff. And then, I just can't, kind of like you, man. I just can't do one thing. Like even when I was doing music, man, I was still working on vlogs. I was doing vlogs and shit. And then me and my friends made some music videos just with my iPhone, just trying shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like trying to just create instead of just rapping, putting the shit on SoundCloud and just being like, all right, 12 plays, good job, let's do the next one. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? You got to build something. You got to like build around it. And then, dude, so long story short, man, I went to a university here and I got a degree in journalism. And long story short, man, so I wanted to do sports journalism, but there's not a whole lot of work in it. There's not like careers and shit in it.
Why is it so many people want to do sports journalism and they get so unhappy that it's like not many people want this?
Well, like it's not that. It's that
sports management too.
Media is changing so much.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
No one watches TV no more. Let's be honest.
Nobody
watches TV. Nobody reads no print newspapers. So that's already out the window.
People barely get on YouTube. Like to actually get on YouTube, like a desktopper. Yeah. I'm not talking about like somebody on their phone. I mean like a desktopper.
Exactly.
So, even if there's no more desktoppers like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, I use my MacBook all the time. I love my MacBook, but like I'm on my phone 90%. If I'm consuming media, it's on my phone. But long story short, I created the Slightlee Daily blog and shit at first because I write about sports, music, TV shows, video games, all types of shit. But the bulk of it was writing articles about like local artists and shit, just because I know what it's like as a local artist, kind of putting some shit out and no one giving a fuck. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
So I kind of was wanting to provide that. And then, I was, this was probably like 2018 and shit. Like I got into, like, I love the no jumper shit. I don't know if you're familiar with like that
Of
stuff.
course.
So that's like my shit. And then just the Joe Rogan shit too. And I was like, dude, I can do this on
100%.
some scale, and I'm sure you guys had this conversation too, but I was like, I'm going to fucking do it. And
No,
then
for
like
you it was Joe Rogan. I feel like there's two big people in podcasts. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who
Joe
you are.
Budden.
Joe Budden and
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
These are the podcasters.
Goats.
There is only these two. Of course, there's other people that are huge.
Yeah.
The rest in peace. What's the guy's name that just passed away? I forgot his name.
Podcaster?
He's a podcaster. He's one of the big pioneers of podcasting.
But yeah, I mean, so
I forgot his name. But yeah.
When exactly did you guys? Okay, so after you met Bocce, and then you guys did the shows, you did some content together. So you met Bocce first.
Yes, I met Bocce first. I met Caleb. I mean, me and Caleb been friends since high school. I've known her for over 14 years. I knew her since 2006. So she knows who I am. You know what I'm saying? She's seen all of this, right? So she knows. Right.
So where does the story of Outlaw go after this chapter?
So then it goes to now I'm with Bocce, right? And we're now on. The Average Male podcast was really supposed to be 4 people.
Okay.
Right? It was supposed to be our only dark skin cast member.
So when did you guys when did that concept come about? Like you were like, okay, 1, we're gonna do a podcast. 2, it's called Average Males. Like when was like the first?
We aired in May. We started meeting in, I would say, January, February. I would say about me and Bocce always, right?
Like the preparation.
As far as just thinking about it, just throwing ideas on the board and just kind of going back to doing your own thing.
Yeah.
But the actual premise started around maybe I would say March, right?
This year?
Yeah, March of this year.
Nice. Okay.
Right. So in March. So we're in March, and we got it's me, Phil. That's the person that didn't make it. Chris and Pachi. And so we're all trying to figure out ideas. We ended up starting we was gonna do like a DJ academics thing, but it panned off into podcasting. It was like, listen, nobody wants to fucking do that all day.
What exactly were you guys wanting to do? Like the Twitch live stream stuff, or
no, just like posting social media content yeah.
I want to do that on a very small scale.
Small scale, that's what I'm saying. It's too much time. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort. It's almost like checking your stocks.
Exactly, bro.
It's a lot of work.
and also, my whole basis with Slightlee Daily is if you go and read the articles, they're like short, sweet, to the fucking point. There's no bullshit. And I also don't want to cover like gossip. You know what I'm saying? 100%.
I'm always on slightlydaily.com. I'm always checking your stuff. I'm always on your YouTube.
Hell yeah,
always making sure that I go to the end. Yes, there's episodes that I miss, but I make sure
I appreciate
that I go.
Dude.
Like if I was to go, because I could literally go by computer right now, and you can see where I finished. Okay.
Hell yeah.
I fit if you do a short one, that's easy. I could do 30 minutes, 20 minutes, right? Man. But if you're at like an hour, one of the ones that really put me onto your podcast is you had somebody on there that was I don't know what you call it, schizophrenic, the dude with the blonde hair. And he was kind of twitching.
He has Tourette's.
He has Tourette's, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, I didn't realize he had Tourette's at the beginning.
Yeah.
At the beginning, he was like kind of chill. And he got into his outbreaks. And I was like, yo, this podcasting is fire. And I was just like, have you ever seen High Fidelity?
I've heard of it.
They just started a Netflix series called High Fidelity, but there's a movie called High Fidelity with John Cusack. You should really watch it. You remind me of the character Moby Dick.
Okay.
Right? The character from Moby Dick.
All right.
And I feel like
Cusack
High Fidelity, John Cusack role, right?
Okay.
John Cusack is my top 3,
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying?
He's dope.
And in this film, I feel like that's a movie for all podcasters. And it's not even about podcasting.
I'm gonna check
But it's
that
a
out.
movie for podcasters. And you would like it because you are Moby Dick. So,
Okay. All
and like I
right.
said, I'm a dude. I call myself Dawson from Dawson's Creek. You probably haven't seen that show, but there's a show called Dawson's Creek. This dude's like a film buff. He's a white guy. He wears turtlenecks and he goes to the beach with his khakis rolled up and he just thinks about movies, right?
Okay.
So that's me, right? That's how I think. So I've seen every movie that you could possibly imagine. So whenever I see people, which helps me in artist development and videography and loving people before I can hate them, obviously, because I can see so much in them.
Mhm.
So like when I see you, I'm like, yo, this dude started a podcast from High Fidelity, and I was just like, yo, just marketing. There's so many ways that podcasters can make it, because conversation is such a powerful thing.
Oh my goodness, man.
And there's so many niches in conversation that people need. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you fit a very high niche in the podcasting world that you have yet to hit. Like yet, keyword, but eventually you will hit that plateau where people are really you're gonna be the next No Jumper for sure, if not better.
Man, I really appreciate that, man. Cause like, look, and also, dude, man, just being a rapper, getting into just music, you're like, man, I can't wait to just go viral. You know, you have all these high hopes, and then like, I'm like so humble now. Like, I mean, yeah, $1 million would be cool. I had this rant on one of my solo ones where I was like, I don't want to be a billionaire. Like, it sounds crazy. You
No, I don't either.
But like, you know what I'm saying though? It's like, that's too much money.
100%. There's no reason why I need that.
You don't like, come on, man. I'm cool with my Nissan. You know what I'm saying? I would like to buy me a house, not have any debt, have a car paid off. I'm straight. And if I could
Simple stuff. Yeah.
if I could wake up and do this every day and just make a living, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying?
I only want money because of generational wealth. Right.
That is true. That's another thing.
But if I could make like 10 million and then just live off of 600,000 or maybe 300,000, I'll be perfectly fine with that and just leave the rest for generational wealth. For sure.
Exactly. See, that is another thing too. But like, you know, if you spend like if like you or I created like this media empire, like if Average Male Podcast got signed by Complex or some shit, you know what I'm saying, and you guys just imprinted the brand basically forever. You know, for at least a few years in the just internet world, you know, that it will live for, I mean, even though you guys aren't signed to Complex, it's on the fucking internet. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Forever. The internet is like this whole new beast. It's like a scrapbook it
is a artificial mind.
It is,
period.
Man. And
no
like,
matter what device you're using, it is an artificial mind for everyone.
So I've been vlogging for about 2.5 years now. So I went to a music festival. It's like this huge music festival here, like 30 minutes from me. Literally, like Kanye West has been there. Everybody, like, it's huge. It's called Bonnaroo, and Travis Scott says it in sicko mode.
Bonnaroo.
Anyway,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I've been there. Like, I go there every year. I vlogged it in 2018. My friends didn't appreciate it then, but now that we're like spread out, people have moved away. You know, we're getting older. You know how it is getting old. Every year, man, you talk to less and less people. You don't like, it's not like high school where you just had this giant group of friends.
No, and you're at 24. You're about to really hit that loner phase. Hold up, but shit. After high school, and then after that little, you know, just trying to like work and just like be an adult and stuff and like be cool. It's like, man, you're like, I don't want to do this shit. I just want to stay home.
Exactly.
And nobody wants to stay home with you. So it's just like, but your girl.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what I was saying is, like, I created the videos and I was like, I had this vision. I was like, man, 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now, when I have kids and grandkids, like, I'm going to be like, hey, go on YouTube, pull this up. This was me when I was 22. Like, you know how, like, you know, you might have had that conversation with your aunts or uncles or grandparents, like, man, oh, this was a picture of you from the 60s. Like, oh, that's cool. But like, no, like, this is me right here in the screen from 2019. You know what I'm saying? This is 2020. Like, even this conversation would be like, yeah, in 2020, I had Outlaw, this guy from New York, on the podcast. Yeah, check that out. You know, I'm old and gray, and like my grandkids are like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's gonna be a real thing.
So I mean, that's just
contemporary.
That's how I look at it.
Key words.
Man, that's just how I look at it, because like, the vlogs and stuff, it just like captures. But you know how this is. Like you were talking about cinematography, man.
Mhm.
You know how it is. Like, I mean, I'm filming all my vlogs with my iPhone, but like, I'm also not trying to create the next Tarantino film, you know? But
Of
I'm
course.
trying to like capture a moment and also live in it at the same time, you know, like capture it, clip, boom, there we go. All right. You know, I'll worry about the editing later. And then whenever the end of the night or the next morning, be like, all right, what did I get? Airdrop it all to the MacBook and just be like, okay, I got some cool clips, you know? And then like piece it together, throw my little intro video in there, and then boom, we call it a vlog. Like,
Oh, we got it. It's magic.
yeah, man, it is
And nobody
magic.
could ever do that prior
It's
10 years ago or
exact
20 years ago.
exactly, bro. You could not even
No,
imagine.
matter of fact, yeah, you couldn't even put long forms of content on YouTube for longer than 15 minutes unless you actually put in work. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah,
So yeah,
it's just
and
started.
the fact that you guys have a long form show, which I'm sure don't you guys like.
It's not even long form. It's like 30 to 40
I mean,
minutes.
bro, that's still pretty long though, man. But don't you guys cut a lot out? Like, do you guys film longer than that?
Oh my God.
Why do you guys cut out? Do you guys just want like the best nuggets in there, or like, is there a reason?
Well, definitely to design the show. I mean, we're
Yeah,
designing a show. If it
that
was
is
just a
true.
podcast, it would be we just let it run. But
Right.
it's so many things that we're doing in it, and so it's only but so much time. There's only one editor.
With the
Yeah.
skits too, I feel
Mhm.
that. But you know, what would be an interesting thing is just, man, like I really love you guys' format. It looks good. I mean, so shit, man. Tell me how you met Chris. Let's get to that.
That's Bachi's best friend.
Okay, that's Bachi's best friend. Okay, bet.
We like so when we were like shopping around Bachi, like we were like the beginning of Rockefeller, right? So we were like shopping Bachi around as an artist, trying to get him into labels and stuff like that. Me, I'm a videographer. Chris is just his friend, and he supports him. So that's all you
Word.
really need. That's the manager in itself, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so Chris, so we like shopping him around at Def Jam. You know, we're trying to cultivate the things from when we did the shows, just trying to revitalize him, making records. But we never got a really chance to really cultivate our records because me, once again, perfectionist. I'm not trying to put out nothing that's not dope. So a lot of times, you know, me and Bachi get into differences because musically, because I'm like, yo, man, we got to put out the best. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
I
you know,
do. I do.
I'd rather put out a dope single than put out a project. And a lot of artists want to put out a project versus putting out a dope single.
Mhm.
And I'm like, if we dedicate the same time to a project that we would dedicate to a single, and we dedicate the money that we would dedicate to a project, and we dedicate that to a single, I
Mhm.
feel like that would have more buzz value than a project because all people have to do is hear that versus trying to make people hear
Yeah,
10 records from an average person. It's
man.
crazy.
I feel that 100%.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
I really do. It is hard, bro.
Like
And
that let's take a pause. That ideology is crazy. That you can just spend 6 months on a project,
one.
not barely post on Instagram or YouTube, come back, right, and then have it like, yo, you can make a single a week like Russ and be a millionaire. But no, let's continue making projects. That's how hip
Yeah,
hop started. Let's make
dude.
mixtapes.
Exactly.
It's
I just
2020.
what you specifically what the like you guys' podcast. I mean, so like just being children of the internet, we sift and scroll, and I've specifically when I started the podcast, I wanted to find other one who was at the tippity top, just what they're set. How it is. I'm sure you guys know, like, okay, what was all the equipment and shit I needed. So that's
We
one YouTube loophole. You know what I'm saying? And then two, it's like, okay, who's got some dope shit? And then eventually, long story short, I went through the hashtags and just who was doing these small independent podcast shows, and some of them, well, shit, I'll say 75% of the podcasts are audio only, which is cool.
I hate it. I hate
Which
that.
is it's I consume them both,
How in the hell would
but
you scroll to somebody and want to listen to an audiogram?
well, like I think that it's good to have both, but
Yes,
not just
not
one.
just one. Yes.
That's what I was getting at is So look, when I'm doing the hashtag podcast on Instagram, and I was looking, you know, in the early days, like who's out here, and then I'll see, okay, audiogram, okay, and then they might have a video, and I'm like, all right, like when I found you guys, I was like, what I was looking for was just, okay, who has a video show, literally, and I was like, okay, boom, these guys, and then I listened to it. I'm sure it was like episode 1 that I saw like the clip for, or 2 or some 3 or some shit, and I was like,
It
oh,
was very early.
so I was like, oh, this is dope. I went to you guys' page. I was like, okay, you guys just started this page. Went to the YouTube, and I did that with a lot of people, but some people just they might have had like a dope little thing going, but like just stopped, or you know, they weren't as consistent. And you know, I've reached out to a few shows, and like I actually know one other person. It's my girlfriend's friend, has a podcast, but they're audio only, and I keep telling them, I'm like, just film it somehow, like figure out a way, you know what I'm saying, figure out a way to film it. But yeah, it's just sifting through all this stuff, man, on the internet. It's really rare to find some stuff that you resonate with, that's like kind of
100%.
like on your level. Like I can literally reach out to you and you'll reach out back. I can't DM Joe Rogan. You
No,
know
it's
what
a
I'm saying?
fact.
I can't DM Joe Budden and
Yeah,
say, hey
yeah.
man, can we do a Zoom call? Like, you know, so you got to be realistic at a certain point, but also like this type of stuff, this networking thing, it's so important. And
No, it
also
really is.
it helps that like I'm actually intrigued with what you and everybody else is doing too, you
No,
know?
100%. It goes both ways. Like a lot of people in life think that it's about being used or not being used. And to be honest, this is about being utilized. It's not being about unused. It's about being utilized. So you utilize looking, right, and you find, and I look and I utilize finding, right, and then I see you, and now I find, and so we complete a frequency that only is going to complete something else,
Yeah.
right? So now we two come together, right, and then another frequency happens.
Mhm.
So it's just like sometimes, you know, with which is the beautiful thing, phenomenal thing about this internet whole thing and podcasting and just niches and things, is that if somebody's doing it well enough, you possibly can link. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it creates some dope shit, and that's what hip hop really is at this point.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, man. Getting on the tail end of this thing. You have anything you want to ask me? Have anything you want to add? Any topics? Anything you want to say before we get off here, man? I really appreciate this, man. We need to do this again. I'd like to have all 3 of you guys somehow figure that out.
No, definitely not. I mean, we shoot, so
No.
definitely one day we'll all,
Yeah.
like Chris will be probably
Yeah,
here. We'll
that
probably
would be-
put this further back.
That would
And
be
we'll
dope.
actually probably have the mic's house. It's like, yo, why did not put the mic up? But forget it.
I mean,
later on we'll do that.
see with the Zoom thing, it makes a difference, but like with it being like this through like the distant connection, it distorts the audio anyway, so it kind of doesn't even, I mean, like I'm sure I sound fine, but like once I like download the file, it's not going to sound like how it does on all the other ones, you know. It'll be okay, but like, you know,
it won't be the greatest.
Yeah,
It'll downgrade the quality because it's Zoom. It's not,
because it's
Adobe or something like that.
Right. But yeah, man. Any other topics? Any questions you got for me, man? Before we get off here, final statements.
A good question for you. I actually got a few questions for you.
Go ahead, man.
One question is what is it like being right now from your perspective? Like, what is it like just being you?
Being me?
Like I'm being like you, because we talked about the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Long ago, right? But like, just what is it like being you at 24 years old, about to be 25, being a podcaster, having a job, having a Nissan, going to school for journalism, doing all of that.
I'm done with school. But like, so I've been out of school for like 2 years now. So I finally have like my life started. You know what I'm saying? Being me is, I just hate that I hate working I hate doing shit I don't want to do, but I got to do what I got to do, you know? So the whole normal job shit sucks, but also I'm super grateful, you know, I mean, at surface level, my health, you know, I have a girlfriend, you know, my family lives here and stuff. Being me is, I just get so caught up in my emotions sometimes where I'm like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed as fuck right now. Like, what am I even doing? Like, you know, oh my God, I I got Outlaw on my DM. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
especially, man, because I'm kind of balancing all this shit alone. Like,
No, I realize that. That's why I'm like, what's it like, big you?
So I mean, stressful, but I know what I have a vision. I know if I keep pushing forward, man, I can at least get to where I want to be. But being me is, I'm glad you asked me that, because it kind of brings me back down. It kind of grounds me more, because like I worked today. I deliver for Amazon, and it has its days, but like,
I'm a supervisor at UPS, so
oh really?
Yeah, I'm in the delivery business too, so I know.
So I mean, and I
Peak
deliver.
season is coming.
Yeah, it's here. It's already here for us. Shit.
Yeah, November 15th for us.
It's
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, but like, yeah, so doing this regular work shit. But I know, man, if I keep, because I know at least my area, bro, like, there's not a whole lot going on here. There is a lot going on, but like, people don't take a whole lot of this shit serious, and when they see me, they know that like I'm for real. Like, I'm really for real. You know what I'm saying? And I come from like, small, like the city I live in isn't like tiny. Like, it's not like a country little town. Like, it's a big city. We got like 2 malls, a whole bunch of shit here, but like, everybody here has like a small city mindset. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So yeah, man. I feel great.
Being you feel great.
I feel good, man. I do. I'm tired, but that's all. That's part of it, man. It's gonna be worth it.
Have you developed any anxieties or any depressions as being a 24-year-old, or are you staying clear of that?
I mean, no. Who is staying clear of that?
More depression or anxiety?
I've always had anxiety.
Like anxious in life or anxious in your emotions?
My emotions, I guess, man. But also I feel like things in my life caused me to feel anxious. Like, I don't know. I try and do way too much at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, specifically the podcast, I will like quadruple book a show, or like for a week. I'll be DMing like 4 people at the same time. And also, man, I get people who bail on me and shit too, like constantly cancel. So that's what I'm saying. People are in this.
But that's what I'm saying. Why don't you just design a show based around you, so you didn't have to worry about that?
I mean, that's kind of what it is. But like, I wanted it.
I feel like now you're like, no, I need the guests at this point. Like, you're like, the guests are gonna help me more, and that's what we were saying on the Average Male. Like, we had a lot of arguments about implementing guests, and I'm just like, hey, man, when we do guests, we miss out on getting to be our better selves on camera.
Yeah. And I mean, I do the solo ones periodically, but I wanted it to be guest driven, because I've said this 100,000 times on camera, but I did create Slightly Daily to give other people a platform.
What if you did solos, and sometimes in those solos, like, people would just come in and
like
sit on the couch?
Half.
Yeah, like you would see people just come in. Because I truly think that your podcasts are better alone, not without guests. I'm not saying without guests, but I'm saying that if you dedicated more into the brand of you as a podcaster and then incorporated people around it, I think it would be way bigger.
That's interesting. I'm because so I will. It's actually,
not way bigger. Like, it's like I'm saying, I think it would grow, because
right.
It's you. It's your Slightly Daily.
Yeah.
So, sometimes people, because if you show, like, boom, if it's my first time clicking your video and I see you and 2 or 3 other people.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, who's the host? Like, it's gonna be kind of muddy.
You got 15 seconds.
Yeah, you're right.
You want more of you in those 15 seconds than you want of them. Not because you don't want to give them the light, but because you want people to immediately know who they're going to. So sometimes that's how you can now also miss out on your niche.
Yeah,
like, oh man, I don't want to listen to the dude with the beanie, and I don't want to listen to the dude with that hat. The dude over there is pretty cool, but I don't know who's who. I'm gonna just get out of here and go to my next video.
Well, it's actually interesting you say that, because next weekend will be a year since I posted the first episode, and in the episode I did before, the solo one,
so just have people pull up. Just start off dolo. Have them come in.
That's kind of what I'm gonna try and do, is just do a mega
Yeah.
event. Like you guys can, I can get you to call in. Like I want it to be like kind of like some Howard Stern shit,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try it, but also, man, motherfuckers around here are just not that reliable, you know. But I know what I signed up for, but I'm gonna try and make it happen. I'm gonna try and get just like a rotation of people, like a part, because really, it's really awesome that you brought that up, because the whole reason I wanted to do this episode, the topic was just gonna be me and Slightly Daily. I'm just gonna let just like everyone who's been a part of it just have that episode to just reflect.
For sure.
Have old guests on, be like, all right, tell me, about your first experience. How do you feel about the growth? How do you feel about because it's been a whole year, bro.
And you know what? A lot of times people are just so phased the fact that they think that nobody's going to see it. Like people are not, people would be so like, when we started the Average Bro podcast, it was like nobody cared about it. The moment they seen it, everybody was like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I can give it to my mom. And I'm like, yeah, it was for that. We told you that's what it was for. But you didn't care because you didn't see the product, right? And that's cool. And so sometimes with people, the product is in numbers. And sometimes the product is in visual, you know what I'm saying, for some things. Mm-hmm. So if you're not trying to, invest in the product of those two things, then you're going to miss out on your brand for sure.
Yeah.
So that's why we did the skits. We did the skits because who's just going to listen to three YouTube people on YouTube just talking about some shit? It's like, if we do the skits, it's immediate clickbait.
I feel that.
And it's fun.
It's fun, and nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing a skit.
Nobody's going to be able to do it for that long. Mm-mm. Like I'm talking about, we got episodes, like we got prom episodes, right? I'm talking about we live going to prom. I'm talking about we got episodes where we're in school. We got a whole school, like literally, like, you know what I'm saying? Like where we're gonna like it's gonna be. We got a show called awesome, BXPD where we show like a Bronx Police Department. You know what I'm saying? like stuff that are really stuff that you're just not gonna see. Yeah. And it's just like, why am I supposed to care so much that you don't see what we see at this moment?
Right.
The clock is right 2 times a day. So I'll be within those realms. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Well,
and that's what it is.
Yeah, dude, I really appreciate your time, bro. I'm glad we could finally make it happen, man. I know life is, first of all, we're an hour difference, and we got lives and
no, I know, because
work schedules and shit. I'm just
glad Vegas. It's still an adjustment.
But yeah, I'm just glad we could get it in, man. Literally, bro. Whatever I can do, I'd love to have you back on, man, for real.
No. Soon I'll be somewhere around Texas. So like I said, I'll definitely see how I can get over there. And
hey, man, improv. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, man. Final words.
SlightlyDaily.com.
SlightlyDaily.com.
LEE, 2 E's, not a Y.
I need to send y'all some stickers, man.
Word. Have
I done that? Have I done that before? I don't think I have. I don't think I sent y'all any stickers.
No. We got to send you your address first.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember if I had, because I sent a few out a while ago.
No, AverageMail.com. Average Mail on YouTube. Sorry.
Cool. Well, this was episode 76. Word. I appreciate you, man. Socials are in the back on the whiteboard. The Last of Outlaw, Average Mail Podcast.
Boom. One word. The Last of Outlaw. I see you.
And you are what?
I am what I am.
We're going to end it on that one, man. I appreciate it, bro. Have a good rest of your night, okay?
All right, you too. I'll link you later. For sure.
All right.